Okay, good morning, everyone. How are you? How is everything? And now we will open for the students to come in. Today we are going to do review for quiz 2 in sociology. Okay, so we will have them all here. It's great to have them all. So good morning, everyone. Okay, so we have Yusuf, Khalaf, Asma, Haya, and Hiba today. Okay, um, and it's great to have you all. Okay, I believe there's a trip today, so some people may be excused for today. We'll see. For the people who hear, that's great. Okay, today we're going to do a review for quiz 2, and everyone who turned it in did a great job. Okay, for the people who did not turn it in, who I did not receive from, please do as soon as possible. Okay, so you have, do it by next Saturday. So give yourself until next Saturday because then it won't be a load on you because, as I said, this week we are going to talk about the essay that you will have due by the end of this week, so by Thursday. Okay. So make sure you do the quiz 2 as soon as possible. Yes, so I'll give you until Saturday. Next Saturday, I'll grade the rest for the people who turned it in. As for this week, today we're going to review for quiz 2. And tomorrow we are going to tomorrow I believe we're going to do the outline. Okay, so we're going to review the outline. So make sure tomorrow you get with you the outline if you did not turn it in. Okay, so we can discuss it together. We can discuss different tactics you can use, different strategies, maybe things you need to add, things that are great in your paper. Okay, you need to, maybe improve even, but, to keep it up. Yes, and make it better and better. So I saw them, they're great, what you did when I was absent for emergency leave. Right now, we are going to have the review for quiz 2. Okay, any questions so far?
No, thank you.
Okay, excellent. For the people who did the quiz, they were great. Wow. Okay, I'm so proud of you. For the other ones, I can't wait to see them. Yes, the quiz is very nice. It's everything we talked about before. Make sure you review the PowerPoint, the videos, and everything else. Okay. Anyways, today's a nice review for quiz 2. For the people who did not do it, please make sure you take note of the important aspects, okay, of the quiz, and you do the quiz as soon as possible. Okay. Okay, great. So I will share right now I chose Hiba. Hiba did a great job on the quiz. Okay, and Haya did a great job too. And Nuran is not here today, but Hiba did a great job on the quiz. Thank you, Hiba. I'm gonna share your quiz. Your answers were amazing. And Haya too. All the actually Nuran also turned in hers. All of you guys were really good. Like wow. Okay, so I may share other things from your quizzes, but um, I chose Hiba's because Hiba's had extraordinary answering and her answers were really nice. The word choice, we'll talk about the different aspects of how to answer in a quiz. Especially before I start, I just want to point out something. Quiz 1 and 2 was more, we did have many discussions and it depended on you being in the sessions, obviously, like I said. So make sure from now on, if you're not coming to sessions a lot, to come always because it does make a huge difference. Nuran, Hiba, and Haya, you guys were always there in the session, so good job. Asma also, and Yusuf, Khalaf, make sure you come more and more, and everyone else, okay? So being in the session does make a difference. But besides that, many of the questions need you to review, right? The PowerPoint, the videos, and everything else. So Hiba, Haya, and Nuran, you guys did a great job. Okay, good job, keep it up. Now I'll open Hiba's quiz. Okay. So the number one thing we will concentrate on for the next coming quizzes and the next coming topics um, is that we need to kind of think about the you know, not only just to recall what we discussed, recall what we talked about, and also, you know, we recall the information, okay? Not only that, Hiba, Haya, and Nuran, you guys all did analyzation, and other people who turned in also, they were good. But I want you to do, we're going to practice on that and talk about more and more, okay? The quiz was extraordinary, and I think we can move on to the next ones, okay? Okay, so any questions so far? So make sure for the coming weeks that you work on analyzing, you work on, you know, pointing out main important aspects that we're talking about, getting in your perspective more, supporting it. And not only that, you know, we will try to see other sources like we did for the assignments in the past week of sociology. Maybe we can, and the sources that you have, other sources, magazine sources, journal articles, videos, and you know, main points from you know, research that has been done in the past. Now the essay will help you on that, okay, because obviously the essay gives you a kind of good insight on the topic that you chose, and also it gives you more and more information on everything, okay? Okay, so let me just open up quiz 2. This is Hiba did quiz 2, okay? So we have here the answers. Let me also open up, so can you everyone see quiz 2? Yes? Okay. So let me open up the questions so that we can see the questions also at the same time. Okay, excellent. Okay, so these are the answers of Hiba. Okay, her answers I chose because the word choice, the approach she took, and kind of the way she answered the questions were really, really nice and very elaborate on her stance and discussions. Okay, and obviously informative of the topic, right? That's what's important here, that she was also informative. She had a good base of what we talked about of family problems and divorce. So let me open up the actual questions so that we can refer to them. Okay, let's see here. I can open it up. Okay. So let's open up the question sheet. For the ones who did not do, please see this as a nice review for you so that you can do the quiz. Especially if you did not attend the last sessions, this will help you out on, you know, applying what you learned and what we reviewed today on the quiz. Okay, but make sure you review the notes, you review the resources you have on Monrovia from the past week's PowerPoint and videos. Okay. Okay, so let me share the questions. Okay. So I hope everyone can see the questions. This is quiz 2, family problems and divorce. So the first question, family is the smallest unit in society and the basis of society. Okay, is that true or false? So,
Miss, I want to ask a question. Did you receive my my answers for the last quiz on the Novia message?
for quiz 1, you mean?
The one that was on 18 Feb.
18 February? You sent it to me on WhatsApp. Did you send me on WhatsApp or did you put it on Lenovia?
I put it on Lenovia, but I'm not sure if you received it or not, right?
No, I did not. I did not find it. So if you can show it to me, if you can try to send it again on Lenovia, submit it, because for you,
Can I send it on WhatsApp? Because on the Lenovia message, every time it does the same issue with me.
Okay, great. Did I confirm with you? If I confirm, that means I have it, right?
You did not. That's why I asked now.
Okay, no, if I did not confirm, that means I didn't get it, right? So send it to me WhatsApp again. Yeah, excellent job. And then I'll confirm it with you. Yeah, I'll tell you I received it. Okay, and so I can grade it. Yes. Excellent. Okay, good job, Asma. Anyone else has the same problem that they sent me, they put on their Novia, or they sent me on WhatsApp and I didn't confirm or grade it? Okay, because if you send me on WhatsApp or Lenovia, that means I would confirm and I would grade it, right? So please, if you did, then tell me. Okay, excellent job. Okay, so I'll review anyways today the WhatsApp and the Lenovia in case you sent it to me again. And you know, or I don't know, there was a mistake or something, and I'll tell you if, for example, I see it but it doesn't open or there's a problem. Okay, for everyone. Okay. But what I graded before is what I received. If I did not receive it, please tell me and send it to me right away. Okay? Okay. So, family is the smallest unit of society and the basis of society. That is true, right? Okay, some of you had questions on that. And it's pretty straightforward. We talked about it, that family is the smallest unit in society, right? Actually, all of you guys got it right, okay? But some of you guys saw confusing. It's basically the idea that society, right, is based on the family. So if you think about society as different corporations, the businesses, the universities, the colleges, transportation, everyday life, what's the basis of it? Why is it all done for? For the family, right? Now, there are people who are single. There are people who, for some reason, they don't have a family. They live alone, or they live with their friends, or they, you know, they live with, I don't know, they live at work or whatever. Okay, there are many exceptions to that. They're single, or they live with friends. That's their family, right? Or they live with, I don't know, with strangers, but that's their life or whatever. Okay. However, you know, society, the basis of it, the unit is the family. Okay, past, present, and future, right? So you have the husband, wife, and children. Now, some people debate for the future, it may change. We don't know, but usually, until now, obviously, it's the basis of society. Okay? Any questions on that? Does anyone find that confusing? So family is the smallest unit in society. It is the smallest unit. Okay? Okay, so you don't have a smaller one, right? You have different huge units, okay, or small ones like small businesses, small workplaces, or you know, even small maybe big families, right? In the sense of they have a history, heritage, or you know, they're like, I don't know, 200 people, 50, but the smallest unit is this mom, dad, and children. Okay, that's the smallest unit of the family. Okay, so family is the smallest unit in society. Okay. Yes. Okay. Great. So write 3 similarities, differences between families in the past and present. Now, at this one, you can choose 3 similarities or differences or both. Okay, so some of you guys wrote some similarities, others wrote differences, others wrote both. That was great. Between the families in past and present. Okay. Nuran, Hay, and Hiba did an excellent job on that. I chose Hiba's because her answer was very nice. Good job, Hiba. Okay. Okay. In the past, family was bigger than it is now. Okay, so that's a difference, and consisted of majority of the family tree living under one roof. That's an excellent difference between the past and present. Okay, so under one roof in the sense of you have most of the family living under one roof, so they were living in one house. Okay, and that's really nice. In today's world, they live maybe in one building or in different houses in the neighborhood or in the country or in the world, right? So they don't live all under one roof. Okay, in that sense, the big family. Okay, so even till today, you have the mother, father, and children. They may be separated when the children get older. Okay, or even today when they're young, right, for different reasons. But in the past, the huge family with the grandmother, great grandmother, aunts, and uncles, they were under one roof. Okay. The aunt and her family, the uncle and their family, and parents, grandparents as the head of the house. Okay. So you have, you know, the aunt and her family, right? The uncle and their family, parents, grandparents as the head of the house. Okay, so you have the head of the house, maybe the aunt, maybe the grandfather, maybe the parents. That's also a difference. Okay, so here she has three differences between past and present. Yes. Now you can find some of them are similarities, right? So, you know, sometimes until now you find different cultures where it's still the aunt and the grandparents, the parents, they all live under one roof and they have this authority to the aunt or the grandparent or the grandfather or whatever. Yes. Okay, so it may be similarities, it may be differences, both. Okay, good job. So here in the answer, right to the point, excellent word choice. It lists it in a certain kind of order. She chose obviously not in point form, but more in a sentence. Okay, and excellent grammar. Okay, good job. No one broke the word. This was number 2A. Okay, now B and C are the next two. Okay, now here the different characteristics she wrote down in A is excellent. Okay, and it kind of elaborates and expresses the you know the differences and also the similarity, right? So that's what's nice about it. Okay. B, no one broke the word of the head of the house as they are very respected and seen very highly, which is different today. Excellent. Okay, so obviously this is a similarity, this is a difference. Okay, so it's different today than all majority of the families. You know, today they're very down to earth, very more practical, more flexible with everyday life because it's harder, more challenges. The culture is different, obviously. There's no authority in the family. There's no kind of high respect, like she said, and breaking the word is a taboo, right? Okay, so excellent job. Divorce is much more common nowadays compared to how it was in the past, which considered divorce as a taboo subject. That's an excellent difference. Okay, so obviously in the past, divorce was much less, right? Okay, it's more common nowadays than in the past, and divorce was a taboo subject. So straightforward. Okay, as you can see, A, B are really expressive that it can be a difference or a similarity because there are some cultures until now that have it. Now, it's nice for Hiba, for example, to say that, you know, there are some cultures that do still have that, but mainly in most cultures, it has changed a lot, like obviously, okay? But the A and B are excellent points that we talked about and that she points out. For example, the breaking of the word and the high respect is something that Hiba got into it from her, and that's great. Okay. The third option is divorce, which is something we talked about. It's much more common nowadays than before. That's a huge difference, right? Good job. So good job of choosing the different similarities, of expressing them, writing them, the word choice, and how she organized it. Okay, keep that in mind for the next quizzes, that how you organize it, you choose the word choice. Okay, I may leave it open-ended for you. So I ask a question, it's not multiple choice. It's not, for example, an essay question or paragraph. It's open-ended for you to write it down as you wish. Make sure organize it and you put it as that. Okay. Any questions? Okay, great. Just a reminder, hopefully I'll get this this recording on Learnovia. The last ones that we reviewed for quiz 1, I couldn't get it because it's not accepting. So right when we see the Learnovia and it works out that we can put the link, I'll tell you, and you can review for you know, for the coming quizzes this session. Okay, so it's a nice review for you to see how to answer the questions and what is asked for. And for sure, when the coming quizzes, we'll also talk about what's expected. Okay, so let's move to number 3. Let's see what the question is. Okay, now I have a question. Am I sharing with you right now? I'm sharing with you the family problems and divorce quiz 2, right? Or
yeah,
okay, great.
yeah, it's so good.
Okay, Okay, let me just read out the number 3. I am 13 years old and I feel scared of my dad after he was violent with me once in fight verbally and physically. Okay. I do not know what to do. Can you help me as a social worker for what to do? Okay. So obviously here there's a 13-year-old boy that comes to you as a social worker, and he's very scared of his dad because he was violent. Okay. With him once. So what can he do with this problem he has? He's really scared of his dad. Okay. We talked a lot about this, and I wanted to see your kind of creativity, your kind of approach of how you will do it with what we talked about, what you studied from the PowerPoint and videos. And I really liked your answers. Okay, so it was very exciting for me. Let's see what Hiba wrote. I liked her answer. That's what I remember. And let me share it with you. Okay, here I want your creativity. There's no right or wrong answer. What did you learn? How to apply it in such a case? Okay. So number 3, as a social worker, this is Hiba, I would do everything in my power to take the child as far away from the abusive father as possible. Excellent. So she would take, her perspective is that she would take away the child as far as possible from the abusive father. Okay. Whether that means the child stays with a trusted relative or the mother. So obviously when Hiba saying when she when the child is taken, goes to a trusted relative, okay, or their mother. And so whether that means the child stays with a trusted relative or the mother, okay, and try to move the custody of the child to that relative, so the father won't have a say or even, so the father won't have a say over then until he takes therapy to help him manage his issues in order to be there for his child, okay? That's really important here, okay? So do you see here how that's important? Hiba believes that the father should take therapy. While the father is taking therapy, okay, the child should be with a responsible, trusted relative or the mother if she is like that, okay? And would be in full custody means that they're responsible of all his life and issues, okay? Under the law and government, and obviously under the organization that the social worker is working in, okay? For him to have the best life possible in that situation until the father takes therapy. And then afterwards, I would add, and then afterwards they would see if he can be with the father or not, okay? Now Hiba said then he would manage his issues for the child, and that's great, okay? That answer is excellent, Hiba. Yes. Now, what does everyone else think? Do you think this is a good solution that Hiba wrote? A good kind of strategy for the child or who came to the social worker? What do you think? Do you agree, disagree? Do you want to add? I would add, for example, that they would just always be, in close relationship with the father and the son when the son goes back to the father. And always the father would go to therapy to, to kind of have a criteria that kind of evaluates the father, but obviously there's a limit, right? So also you don't want to do it in the sense of ruining the son and father issue, but in a positive way, okay? What about your perspective? What do you think?
I think she did good with like answering the question. It's like a unique answer, like in my opinion.
Yes, I agree. That's true. Okay. Thank you, Haya. Asma and Yassine, right? Is here. Is here. We have Asma, Yassine, and Yusuf. What do you guys think? And Hiba, what do you think? This is your answer. Okay.
Yes,
I agree with you. I think I could have added
Excellent.
like that aspect of the child staying in contact with the father. So yeah.
Excellent job, Hiba. Okay. Yes, I agree too. Okay, that's really good. Okay, I really liked your answer. Good job. And anyone else?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anyone else? Okay, so keep that in mind when you answer here. As you see, there's no right or wrong. It's her answer. That's the way she would deal with it, based on what we talked about, based on the different sources that obviously she studied from, based on what she believes in and her different perspectives in life and everything else. Okay? Yasin, do you want to add something?
No, this is good.
Okay, excellent. Okay. So for the ones who did not do the quiz yet, okay, this can help you out. Yes, and for the other ones, make sure you turn it as soon as possible if I did not receive it. Okay? So divorce is much more common nowadays. Sorry. Yes, okay. So right now we did number 1, 2, and number 1, 2, and 3. Now let's go to number 4. So let's go back to 4 and see the question. I'll read you out the question for 4. Okay. So name 3 common family problems worldwide. Yes. So here basically is what we talked about, right? And from the PowerPoint, from the videos and everything else. Okay, and the discussions we're having in the session. So let's see what Hiba chose. And you can add, by the way, if you remember what you wrote down or anything else, you can please add. Okay, so let's.
It's okay if I add, right? Because I added in my app, not from the video, but from my.
Yes, it's fine. It's okay. Okay, but it's fine. Yes, if you add, for example, from what you know from before, what we discussed, maybe something in the video we didn't talk about, maybe something when you were doing the assignments you read, okay? Yeah, that's even better. Yes, so I want you not only to recall from the information we talked about only, no, I want you to think about out of the box, out of what only we discussed. Maybe there are other things that are more important. Please answer. Yes. Excellent job, Asma.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so right now number 4. So these are the 3 things that Hiba chose. Arguments between different personalities over the individual decisions a family member makes. Okay, so that's an important aspect we talked about. And it's nice how Hiba put it, that the arguments between different personalities, you see, over the individual decisions a family member makes. Okay, this is really big family issue, because you find that maybe the father, the mother, the children, even when they're young, they may have decisions they took in life, okay? And obviously a lot of arguments happen. Okay, so maybe this is a typical one, right? The girl comes and tells her parents she's in college, I want to marry my colleague. Okay, maybe the parents won't agree, right? A big fan problem happens. Sometimes you'll be surprised, maybe the parents have a divorce, maybe she gets married and she has a divorce, and so on. This is very common. Maybe the son comes and says, I want to go to this college. They don't agree. Okay, an argument happens. And this is a typical problem, right? Maybe, for example, you have, when you're in school, this is common, right? You want to go out with your friends, okay? And suddenly, they say, no, you can't go out on the weekend. Why can't I go out on the weekend? I want to go with my friends the weekend because this and this and this. Okay, maybe they have a family gathering. Maybe you have a travel. Maybe, I don't know, opposite, you actually have homework. Maybe, they're busy. You need to do house chores or anything else. Okay, so this is part of arguments, right? In the big picture, like we talked about before, this is a central issue in society, right? So here it's nice how she put it in that form. So make sure that, if you want to be general, right, to write it in a general form, or if you want to give examples, to give examples, okay? Now here, I didn't ask for any examples. I just wanted straightforward, to write down 3, okay? So keep that in mind also. So you don't want to be too much, right? That's why I liked Hiba's answers. They're right to the point. And it's not too much. So you can finish up the quiz and you can concentrate on other questions, okay? At the same time, it's right to the point, and she expresses the idea in a nice way using good word choice. You want to be simple, you want to be straight to the point, and you want to use the words that you want to use so that it can be expressive and it can communicate the ideas that you want to give to the reader or to the teacher. Okay. B, a close relative dealing with a drug or alcohol problem. Okay, so this is a big issue. We did talk a little bit about drug and abuse. We talked about domestic abuse, right? Verbal or physical. But this is a really important issue. I really like that one because it does cause a lot of problems, drugs and alcohol. Okay, good job, Hiba. How divorce between a married couple affects the children, obviously. Okay, that's a big issue, right? So the divorce process, going to court, it may not be going to court, just how the whole issue comes by, who gets the children, how does society relate to the divorce, how is their life right now, where are the children, are they still in school, did they continue school? Obviously yes. And then who are they with, the grandparents, did the parents get married, and how is their relationship with the children? Okay, this is a big issue, and we said that in Egypt, one of the main reasons, like we saw in the video, of why they have anti-divorce campaigns is because society in Egypt and other places also in the world really has issues with children from divorced parents, because there's not a positive approach to them. They have a lot of problems. And they cause a lot of problems to society, unfortunately. Okay. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, excellent job. Okay. So I remember many of you guys had other answers. Okay, like for example, we talked about domestic abuse, right? For example, economic reasons, financial reasons, and they're all correct. Okay, so let's go to number 5. We discussed the divorce issue worldwide. Name the person in the family who is most common to ask for divorce and why. We talked a lot about this part, right? So let's see what Hiba said. Obviously, we said the woman, right? The woman is the one who mostly asks for divorce, and why is that? The person who is most common to ask for the divorce is the woman, because men are less responsible over the house, children, and less emotional statistically, so they are less likely to ask for divorce. Okay, that's an excellent answer. And over the house, so that's number 1. Okay, so less responsible over the house as a whole. Less emotionally. Why? Because we said that not in all cases, right? Usually in the world, that's a common characteristic, but not always, right? So sometimes actually the man who's more emotional, okay? And you can relate to it, right? But in average, women are more emotional because they're the ones who get the children. Okay, so they're the ones who has this personal relationship with the children from pregnancy and from also being the mother in social terms, in biological terms, and also in upbringing. Now, it differs from culture to culture, as I said, because there's no kind of, general form, right? Because many times men are emotional in many ways, okay? But in average in the world, women are emotional because of these reasons. Okay, so excellent. They are less likely to ask for a divorce. The men, because usually they're the ones who we said in average, not always, but in average, and in many cultures, mostly of the finance of the house, right? They're the ones who work. They're the ones who have the big responsibilities of the external part of the family in the house, okay? Especially in the Middle East and in Egypt, this is the case. Now, in other cultures, it's very different. Sometimes it's the same, right? So sometimes, and many times actually, you have the mother and the father, they both work, they both are in charge of the house, and even in the Middle East. But keep that in mind, because in other families, no. Sometimes they have a definite boundary. Like, this is the mom, that's her obviously responsibility, right, for the children. And this is the dad, obviously he's the only one who works in the family, okay, and he gets the money. Other times, no. It's actually they change roles. So sometimes it's the mom who works, sometimes the dad works. Okay. So what's nice about Hiba is that she wrote down how women are according to research are the most common and why. And she said why, and she was precise in the sense of emotional part is not necessarily true. Okay, it's average, but it's also for different reasons for house children and emotional. Now we said also sometimes it's for financial. Some of you guys for financial reasons, support of society, and so on. Excellent job. Okay. Let's now go to number 6. Okay, we are almost up with the session. So for 6, 7, for the last questions, what I will do is we'll just do a quick review for them. Okay. The last questions, basically, it's your perspective more. Okay. Now, name the characteristics of the divorce problem in Egypt. These are more what we talked about, right? So the characteristics mainly are, the court prefers the man, right? The law prefers the man. It's in society, divorce is not accepted. Okay, that's a big one. The divorce rates are increasing, right? The problem is increasing over the years, like we talked about, and there were many more. Okay. So basically in number 6, you just choose the characteristics that we talked about before. Okay. Number 7, if you were in the campaign of divorce that happened in Egypt, what are 3 things that you feel should be put in the campaign? This is like the one for the social worker. It's up to you. Okay. So I wanted you to be creative here. And basically you say the 3 things that the campaign should be put in. Now we talked about it in, when we saw the video, and also when we talked about divorce in Egypt, and also based on what you think. Okay.